Welcome to On the Spot. My name is Moff. I'm the Kent State beat writer for the Record-Courier newspaper. Getting back at it. We've had a couple of months off during the off season here, but I wanted to get back with everyone before the season starts, and I have a special guest here today, Sara Welch. She's our newest full-time reporter in the sports department. Sara covers high school sports for us, and just kind of wanted to get Sara on the show and let everybody see Sara and get to know her a little bit and talk about the upcoming season. So welcome to the show, Sara.
Thank you, Alan.
Sara and I actually have a connection. We're both Waterloo graduates, and small world type deal. I know Sara's dad used to come over and hang out at my house a lot when when I was really young. So it's kind of cool to have someone like that in working with me, knowing that I've known her dad for a long time. So it's pretty cool stuff. But we just wanted to talk about the upcoming season. The off season went quick as they always do, and here we are. We're about a week away from Kent State starting football practice, and I know high school golf's probably going to be starting, starting in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're about a month away from high school football, so.
I guess I'll just start out a little bit talking about Kent State. I just had a couple of days ago went to media day for football, and it was at Ford Field in Detroit. That's kind of always for football. It's kind of like, well, it's here now when that day comes up. And I know photo shoots will start coming up for football in high school, and that was always when I used to cover high school. That was always the day, like, uh-oh, it's here, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So,
I'm excited about football season. I think I'm ready after a long period off, and the spring season. I guess the challenge with that is always, finding a decent schedule or even a schedule when they can play games. So I'm looking forward to the good weather and to a set schedule of expectations, like expecting football on Fridays.
I know we have a lot of things planned, but coverage-wise, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but just to start out talking about Kent State, obviously football is the sport everybody thinks of when we think of fall, but obviously there's a lot of other ones, high school and college. You start out with Kent State, the golf season kicks off, men and women, two perennial powers there that'll be as good as ever. The men actually lost some guys, but it's hard to believe that the men's golf team, third page, isn't going to be strong again. Herb always manages to field a team that can compete with anybody in the nation. You flip to field hockey, another perennial MAC power. Women's soccer is always among the elite. Fall's an exciting time for Kent State sports. Volleyball, it's kind of up-and-coming program. They had a couple big wins last year, and they're hoping for some big things this year. And then, you always go to cross-country. They're kind of middle of the pack, hoping to get a little better this year, I'm sure. And then, flipping back to football real quick, they just did the MAC preseason poll, and Kent State was ranked 5th in the East, which, is a little disappointing, I'm sure, to fans. Nobody wants to be 5th out of 7 teams, but the way I kind of saw the race there, Bowling Green was kind of the prohibitive favorite. They're the defending champ. They're definitely the favorite in the East, no question. But I think after that, you got UMass and Miami at the bottom with new coaches. They're going to have to prove themselves. But we got 4 teams in the middle from 2nd to 5th. You're looking at Akron, Ohio, obviously Kent State, and Buffalo. And I kind of see those 4 teams, anybody can come out of there and compete for the championship. Somebody's going to emerge out of that pack. Could very well be Kent State if things go well. They've definitely got some, big talent to fill. Lost Dree Archer, lost Roosevelt Nix, but I think the depth is better overall in Paul Haynes' second year, and they got a starting quarterback now. Last year they had a freshman, so now he's a sophomore. And the greatest thing about freshmen, as any coach will tell you, is that they become sophomores. So they'll expect a lot. He had a pretty good freshman year, but they're obviously going to expect a lot more from him. And that's kind of the Kent State, the angle going into the season. Can you just talk about the high school angle coming in?
Well, I guess the 2 biggest forces in the Metro Division would be traditionally Ravenna and Kent Roosevelt. Ravenna's coming off of their worst season in probably the last 5 years, and Kent Roosevelt has a new head coach. So I guess it could really be anybody's game. Streetsboro, for me, is always a question mark. They always have the athletes, and on any given year, I feel like they could emerge to the top. But I would say that those 3 teams are the teams to watch. I know Norton was at the top of the league last year, but they graduated some kids, so we'll see. I guess we'll see what they can produce. And then in the county division, obviously, just like it was last year, it's probably going to come down to Mogadore and Woodridge duking it out for the top of the county division. And this year Mogadore is playing Woodridge at Woodridge, so some people, I guess, would see that as a real advantage. I don't know. I think it's going to be an even match. You can never really count Mogadore out, and I think everybody in Portage and Summit County knows that they just have a consistently strong program. So, and I would say, as far as volleyball and soccer goes, for the girls, I know Southeast is always at the top of the volleyball program, and they won last year, so I guess I'm expecting them to do just as well. And the same with the Metro. Kent Roosevelt and Crestwood, I believe, shared the division title, and I would say I'm expecting both programs to still be at the top of competition. And obviously with boys soccer, Kent Roosevelt again just has an elite team, and I think it's because of their out of the league schedule. They just play tougher teams, so they have more experience. And for the guys, Woodridge actually has an emerging soccer program too. They won the league, and so I guess that should just tell some schools that you can't have a soccer and football program and still be good at both sports. And then the Rootstown girls in soccer, they've been consistently good for the last 3 or 4 years, gone to districts and stuff, so I would expect that you're gonna see the same thing from them again this season. And cross country, traditionally Crestwood and Woodridge are good, but I would say the thing I'm most excited about as far as cross country goes this season would be that it's Olivia Chin's senior year, and Ravenna's distance program has really grown since she's done so well and shown so much interest in running, and she went to states last year, so I would expect her to be at the top of league competition and make it back there again this year.
Now, Sarah, not only have you been in the area, you were an athlete, but how long have you been actually writing for you at our newspaper, and then overall?
Well, the total time since I started interning is actually a little over 3 years now. I started interning here in May of 2009, and then I rolled right into a position as a freelancer for the sports department after that up until the time I started. Okay, so it's nice that, with Sara, she knows the league. I mean, it's not like we just hired someone from the outside that doesn't know what's going on. I mean, Sarah's really in touch with things already, and that's going to help her a lot and help the coverage a lot. And we certainly look forward to the fall season, as we always do. We don't look forward to the summer days going away, but the nice thing about losing summer is that fall sports arrives. That means it makes summer kind of a little easier to let go of. Maybe we just talk about our coverage real quick, what our plans are. Well, obviously we're going to have previews for everything, which will be coming out the second to last week of August. Those should be coming out in the newspaper. And then the last week of August, the week leading up to football season, there will be 5 features leading up to the first football game, and we're going to do a feature on the cheerleaders for the second consecutive year because that got a good response last year, so we're going to feature them and kind of what they bring to a football game. And then for the first time ever, we're going to feature the kickers, who are 2 sport athletes in the fall. So for those athletes that play soccer and football, we're going to just do something, I guess, to detail how difficult it is for a high school kid to juggle 2 sports, and what kind of camaraderie you get, I guess, when you're split between 2 sports. We're going to do a feature on the Mogadore-Woodridge rivalry as it grows. I mean, Woodridge is really the first team in this area in a while who's been able to compete with Mogadore, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to do a feature on Tim King, Roosevelt's new coach. So just, I guess, to introduce people to him, John Nemec was the face of that program for so long. So I think we're just going to try to introduce the Roosevelt community and the rest of the league to the new face of their program. And the last feature that we're doing, I believe, is the same one that comes out every Friday, kind of season predictions, players to watch, that type of thing. Just kind of like a wrap-up of here's who should be at the top of the league this season, here's what's expected to happen, kind of thing.
And of course our pigskin picks, which you'll be doing for the first time, I'm assuming.
Probably the first time a woman has been.
Yes, that has to be a factor right there. So good luck. I mean, it's always kind of interesting to see who picks who. You should be able to thump me pretty good because since you're the high school beat writer and I'm in college, I don't know much about high school, so the pressure's on you there. But I think you'll handle it. I'm not that tough at pigskin picks, so you should be fine. Hardest is the one you got to look out for.
Well,
he spends like 2-3 hours each week researching each team.
He already wants to have a bet about that, about who wins more, because he said for like the last 5 or 6 years he's been the champion of those. So
yeah, he's got a little dynasty going. We need to take care of that this year, hopefully. Somebody.
I think he just has too much time on his hands.
I think so too. Enough about Hardesty, but I just I think that's pretty good. A pretty good wrap of our coverage and what we're planning to do. Obviously, if any readers have any suggestions, we're pretty easy to get in touch with. Check out our website, recordpub.com. Our emails and phone numbers are always in the newspaper, and we always look forward to hearing from people and what you think we should do and suggestions and that type of thing. And once again, wanted to thank Sara for coming on the spot this week. We'll look forward to another on the spot the following month, and certainly looking forward to the fall season. Thank you, Sara.
Thanks.